Hello, home buddies. I'm sitting on my front porch. Let me show you my view. We're having a heat wave in the Catskills. It's not even 90 degrees. I think it's going to be about 87 today, which is pretty hot for the Catskills. Normally we don't get past 85 or 80. So it is kind of a hot day. A little bit humid. Not too bad. Again, typically we have warm days in the Catskills in the summer. It's usually about a week of the summer that's humid and hot. Most of the time we don't have humidity. So, but I'm sitting in the shade, and in the shade it's really not too hot. It's a little humid, but nothing unbearable. Today is Friday, and Joe and Julius have an errand to run later tonight, and they're probably just going to get something out to eat and bring home some food. So I'm not going to need to make dinner tonight. I was thinking about making a favorite dessert that we like. We typically eat on holidays, but sometimes I make it other times of the year, and that's chocolate pudding pie. I always put bananas in it. So I'll show you how we do that. So I'll have a night off from cooking dinner. The puppies right now are taking their nap, their afternoon nap. So they'll be up in about an hour and a half. I thought I would show you some progress in the garden, because Joe has been working on the garden little by little. It's been hot, so he's been doing it a little bit at a time. Some of it he's done after work in the evening before the sun sets when it's a little bit cooler. So let me show you some of the progress there. Although we still have plants that we have on our porch that we have to still put in the garden. So we do have a lot of plants started, but not all of them are in the garden yet. So let's walk over there and see the progress we've made on the garden. Corn is coming up, which was just planted last weekend. So that's exciting. I know we're a little behind in growing the corn, but we're hoping that we'll have some corn by the fall. We'll see how it goes. So that's exciting. So Joe will be happy about that. We've never grown corn before. We've never grown anything except tomatoes and basil. In our old house, I used to just put pots out with tomatoes and basil. This is the first time we're growing tomato and basil in the garden, though. So, and we've never done corn. I don't think we've done peppers. I might have tried peppers in a pot a long time ago. But a lot of this gardening stuff is new for us. So we don't know what's going to grow and what's not. So far, our pepper plants don't look that promising. Our zucchini seem to be doing well. So we'll see with that. But hopefully we have some vegetables by the end of the season. We do have a few tomatoes already growing in the garden, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It is a quiet day here. Maybe because it's hot, people are staying in. But it is a nice, quiet, tranquil day. All right, I've had enough of the heat. I'm going inside. I thought I'd give you a tour of one of my favorite rooms in the house. It's very cozy, and that is my television room, my TV room. You probably noticed in the video on my living room tour that we don't have a TV in the living room. Sometimes I'll sit on the couch with my computer and do work in there. I'll go in there and read some magazines. But that room is really more for conversation and relaxing, not for watching television. When I have parties, people gather in there and sit around the fireplace and talk. So that's more of a formal living room. We put our TV in a little room off the kitchen that we just call the TV room. The previous owners used it as a little office, but I think it works perfect as a television room. So let's take a tour of one of my favorite rooms in the house, the television room. me tell you the story of my cross-stitch saga. You'll notice I have this light here. It's extremely bright, and it has a magnifying glass. If I pull it down, it has a magnifying glass that I can look through. And I bought this to do my cross-stitch projects because it's getting harder and harder for me to see the little squares that I have to put the cross-stitch in. All right, I've been cross-stitching for over 20 years. I have a lot of cross-stitch projects that I have given to people as gifts and that I have made for myself. I'll show you some of them as I give you more and more tours of the house. But when my one niece was about 4 years old, I finished her birth announcement cross-stitch. And I gifted it to her, had it framed and gifted it. It looked really pretty. And I started one for her sister, my youngest niece. Now, my youngest niece, I thought, well, I'll just have it done by the time she's 4. I started it when she was like 1. So the first project I started, it was too complicated. I was switching threads every 2 stitches, and I gave up on it. So that's not even half done. It's a quarter done. I said, let me get a simpler kit so I can do it faster. So I bought a simpler kit. Let me show it to you. It says, love you to the moon and back. And you can do it in pink or you can do it in blue. So this looked a lot more simple to do than the first one I started, which was very, very complicated. So let me show you how far I've gotten. This is so absolutely ridiculous that this is how much I've done. 2 letters. Now, as you notice, I am using pink. And like a couple stitches over here, and I'm done. That's how much I've done. So I've decided, I've made a resolution, a summer resolution. Because I have free time right now. Because I'm not working. I'm going to start working soon, but not yet. So I think what I'm going to do, and I'm going to hold myself to this on days that I'm home, like today, is when I put the dogs to sleep, they have a regular bedtime. It's around 7, depending on what time they get up in the morning. Might be a little later. So when I put the dogs to bed, I am going to spend an hour cross-stitching this cross-stitch to make some progress on it. And I'm gonna use these videos as motivation because I'll be able to track my progress, and that may give me motivation to keep going because I really want to get this done before she turns 18. My youngest niece just turned 6, and that's what I have done of her birth announcement. So I really would love to give it to her before she turns 7. Maybe if I'm very diligent, I can get it done by the holidays. But when school starts, that's going to really slow me down because I'm teaching a night class. I'm going to be busy. I'm not going to have the free time that I have right now. So the goal is to get as much of this done this summer when I have free time before school starts. I will try when school starts to at least work on it on the weekends, but I would really love to get this to her before her next birthday. But if I can't do that, I at least want to get it to her by next summer. So that's my goal, and that's my craft goal. And I do love crafts. I love many types of crafts, and I'll show you the different crafts I've worked on through the years as I give you more and more tours of my home. So hopefully this is a project that I will document my completion of it. I know I can do it. So this is going to give me motivation to get this cross-stitch done. Although I might do a couple other projects for other people in my family. Not birth announcements, though. Obviously, everybody. All my other nieces and nephews are old, so it's too late for birth announcements. You know, I do have another niece and nephew that I didn't do birth announcements for, but that's because my son was small, And when he was little, I had much limited time for crafts. So that was just bad timing. But when my sister had her kids, my son was older. He was a teenager, and so I had a lot more free time then to work on things like cross stitch. So timing is everything. Also have one cousin that I did a wedding announcement for, but I did that before I was married and before I had kids. So I had lots of free time to do a wedding announcement. Then when all my other cousins got married, I was busy. I was working full time, and I had a child. And so no one else not one other person in my family got a wedding announcement. It's like times in your life when you have free time. And it looks like, I'm entering a time in my life where I do have more free time to do crafts. So I really should put time aside to try to get this stuff done. So that's my goal. It's time for chocolate pudding pie with bananas. So let me show you what I have.